What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Please hit the subscribe button. Check out the content. I got plenty of it there. And hit the notification bell so you get notified about the upcoming videos. Everybody else, welcome back. Escaped convict Grant Hardin, still on the run. Day 5. He is the former police chief in Arkansas. He walked out of the prison wearing a uniform that looked like a correctional officer's uniform. I did a prior video about this yesterday, but I just wanted to say that the FBI and the U.S. Marshal have joined teams now, and they're searching for him. They have admitted that they have 0 credible leads on this individual. Let me show you a quick video and about the up-to-date information right here, and then I'll give you a little bit more about what I have to say about this. So check out this quick video.
We are following breaking news right now out of Arkansas, where the manhunt is currently expanding for a convicted killer. The FBI and U.S. Marshals Service are teaming up with local officials in the search for 56-year-old Grant Hardin.
The former police chief has been on the run since Sunday after he walked out of the prison disguised as law enforcement. Hardin was serving 80 years on combined convictions for murder and rape. NBC News correspondent Priya Sridhar joins us now with the latest. Priya, it is good to see you. So the search for Hardin is now in day 5. What are some of the challenges investigators are facing in trying to find him?
Hey guys, yeah, there are a number of challenges when it comes to this manhunt. Officials here are saying that they have expanded the perimeter, but they acknowledge that they actually have no credible leads at this point. And one of the biggest challenges they're facing is just the rugged terrain around here. I mean, we are in the Ozark Mountains. There are plenty of places to hide off the grid, like in abandoned cabins, but there's also tons of places to hide underground. There's hundreds of caves in this area, so there's a vast network of underground spaces, but the law enforcement here say they have hundreds of personnel on the ground from multiple agencies. They're deploying everything from dogs to drones, and they're working around the clock. Now, in addition to the terrain, they're also battling the rain, which they say even though Grant Hardin was detected as having escaped from the detention facility within 20 to 30 minutes of his escape, the fact that it was raining at the time and in the days following his escape really made it difficult for them to launch drones into the air and see anything, and also to use canines to detect his scent. And then finally, guys, as you mentioned, I mean, this guy is an ex-police chief. And not only that, he also has previously worked as a corrections officer. So this is someone who really understands the systems and knows how these law enforcement agencies operate, guys.
Given what you just said, Priya, I mean, that has to have people who are already on high alert even more, uncomfortable. You've been speaking to people there in the community, knowing what's going on, knowing they're still searching for this man. How are they reacting to now a manhunt that's gotten even broader?
Yeah, Morgan, listen, authorities are definitely warning people that this man is extremely dangerous. He's serving a 30-year sentence for a 2017 murder where he shot a city employee in broad daylight in his face. And then it was the DNA from that murder that actually helped them solve an unsolved rape case of a school teacher from back in 1997. But I can also tell you that the people who live here are actually, overall, they're definitely on alert, but they're not on edge. And the reason for that is most of them carry guns. Take a listen to what they told me.
I was surprised that anybody got out. It just never happens around here.
When I heard about it, I just shut the windows and doors and put the pistol out on the coffee table, and we were good.
The other thing I want to point out is that the jail here is one of the biggest employers in this area. So pretty much everyone that lives around here knows someone that works over there. And I think that's another reason that they feel incredibly confident that eventually Hardin will be found and brought to justice, guys.
Really interesting sort of second beat, peeling back the layer there, Priya. Thank you for bringing that story.
So right now, as you see this, they're still checking the area, and I know they have to do that according to protocol. But I do think that it's. I wouldn't consider it a waste of time. I think he's out of the area. I think that this man knows the protocol of how police search. He knows grid patterns of how police search for escapees because he was 20, 30 years in law enforcement. He was the chief of police. He knows how they look for escaped convicts. When a convict escapes prison, they have an actual blueprint of how they do a search. In other words, when someone escapes, if they find out that someone escapes within an hour to 5 hours of the escape, they do a grid pattern search where they search 3 to 5 miles radius around the prison itself, where they knock on doors, look on farms, and then once 72 hours has passed and that search has shown nothing, they then move to the outskirts and start searching different areas. If Grant Hardin has any intelligence, which I believe he does, he got out of that prison and he went directly on the move. He did not stick around. He did not go into the country. He did not go into the woods. He did not go bunker down in someone's farm. I believe that he tried to get as far away as possible. You know, as they said in the video, it was raining on the day that he escaped and raining for several days after he escaped. And that really does hinder canines being used and drones going in the air. So I believe that helped him get away. But they said that they knew he was missing within a half hour of him getting out, which is really, really a short amount of time. I think this guy is intelligent. Just because he's a rapist, piece of garbage. He raped a woman 20 years ago. He killed someone by shooting them in the face. He's a crazy guy. He's an unstable guy, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have any intelligence. Okay, he has to have some form of intelligence and discipline, because if he raped a woman and then compartmentalized that type of behavior for 20 years to become a police officer and then become a police chief, and never letting that rape get control of his conscience, never letting that behavior come out and hiding it from everyone through his year as a law enforcement officer, that shows that he has a tremendous amount of self-control and he has a tremendous amount of discipline, that he was able to do his career on the police department without ever revealing any signs that he was that type of character. He also has to have some level of intelligence because he was able to hold the position of police chief. He was able to run a police department. And so that takes some level of intelligence, whether we like to admit it or not. And because of that discipline and because of that intelligence, I do believe that he has gotten far away already. I could be wrong. He could be bunkered down somewhere. He could be hiding. But as they said, they have no credible leads at this time. This guy, I believe he had a plan. I don't believe that he just made that uniform and created that uniform or got a hold of that uniform without having a plan to use once he stepped out of the prison. As I said in my other video, it's not like the 10 guys that escaped in New Orleans and just went out through a hole in the wall and were running around the streets. This guy seems a little more intelligent than that. He seems a little more disciplined than that. It seems like he might have some more self-control than that. And, which doesn't mean he's also not a psychopath. What I love about in these videos, to be honest, and all the interviews, is that the people of Arkansas, they have their pistols ready. He's not going to roll up on someone's farm without getting shot. You see an old lady say, "I close my doors, close my windows, and put my pistol on the table." They all have guns. I saw another interview earlier of a young girl who was working on a farm, maybe 19, 20 years old. She says, "I got my 9mm on me. My daddy's out here working on the farm. He got his pistol on him." So they're all armed and they're all ready. That area that he's in is complete farmland. If you looked at any videos or if you Google Earth, the prison itself, It is in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of farmland, you know. So if he's stuck around there, they'll probably get him. But I don't think he is stuck around there. I think this guy is on the move. I just wanted to show you the updated video so you have an idea of what's going on and where we're at right now. Some of the news reporters' questions are ridiculous, asking things like, "Well, how does the community feel? Does the community feel unsafe?" I mean, these are ridiculous questions. You know, how do you think a community would feel if this guy is running around the community? But that community is pretty serious people. You know, they're country people, and they don't put up with nothing. So I think this guy has gotten out of there. What I will say is this: if he, by this time, day 5, we're day 5 right now. I don't see that guy being in the woods day 5. I don't see that guy being in someone's farm, starving and dying for a glass of water 5 days later. You know, I don't just see that being the reality. 5 days later, I still don't think he's in the area. If he goes to check into a hotel, he's done. Someone's going to spot him. If he goes to check into a motel or a hotel, he's finished. If he goes to move around the street, he's finished. If he goes to carjack a car, if he goes to the supermarket, if he goes to a deli, if he does any of those things, he's going to get caught. What he would need to do to continue to stay on the run is have a place where he's hunkered down, where he does not have to step out into society. If he has a place that he's hiding with his food and with his water and where he can lay low and hide, that is the only way that he is going to get away with staying on the run right now, because he can't move. You know, if he gets ants in his pants and he decides, I got to get out of here, I got to keep moving, I got to keep running, he's going to get busted, because right now he's all over the internet, he's all over the television. The FBI and the US Marshals are chasing him. You can't put yourself out in society anywhere right now. You know, I hope he does. So because I hope he gets caught, you know, especially because he's a rapist. You know, this is a guy that preyed on women, and he's a dangerous individual. And so I do hope he gets caught. But what I'm saying is that if he has a lack of discipline and he tries to move right now, they're going to get him. If this guy wants to continue hiding, he's going to stay indoors somewhere if he has that ability to do that. You know, I said it in my last video. I don't think they're going to get this guy right away. I don't. I think he is a little too sharp for that. But anything can happen. I could be wrong. They might get him in the next 15 minutes. Who knows? You know. But that's an update on what's going on, and I'll keep you guys posted. Take care.